Greetings, friends. It's me, Wayman. Welcome to another episode of Judges for Dummies. And this video is going to be a continuation of the Gideon cycle in Chapter 6. But what I'd like to do is go through some of the possible additions to this book, the different time periods that maybe different things were added in the Deuteronomistic history. So, I have here the book Anchor Bible Commentary of Judges, and it's an excellent text. And what I'd like to do is discuss what they feel, what the author feels the time periods would be, and then we'll get into why they think that way, because it's pretty interesting what I found in the Dead Sea Scroll text of Judges, 4QJudges. So, as soon as I find my page here, we'll get going. Okay, so for the framework of the 6th century edition, the preview was added. That'd be chapter 1 to 36, and also the post view, chapter 19, 1 to 1. So that'd be chapter 19:1 up to chapter 21:25. So chapter basically 19 to chapter 21 was a 6th century edition. The Deuteronomistic 7th century edition would be the following chapters. Chapter 2, verses 1 to 5. Chapters 6, 7 to 10. Chapter 7, 6 to 16. And chapter 16, 1 to 8. I'm sorry. Chapter 16, all the way up to chapter 18, 31. So, that is the 7th century edition. And then the rest of the texts were collections of stories, possibly the earliest. So these later editions in the Deuteronomistic history were added later. So you say, Wayman, why do you think that? Well, here we have 4QJudges. And a good book, I'm trying not to lose my page this time, is Dead Sea Scrolls Bible. And it's not the text in Hebrew, but an English translation. If you wanted the text in Hebrew, you'd probably be paying tons of money. But this right here is Dead Sea Scroll Bible, and it's a good reference for roughly what it says. However, you're not able to go and validate it because there's no Hebrew text here. But we're going to take their word for it. So Judges 6. Here, in chapter 6, in the Dead Sea Scroll 4QJudges, verses 7 to 10 are simply not there. The text continues from verse 6 to 11, just like nothing. And the MT and I believe the LXX has, most Bibles do, have verses 7 to 10 in chapter 6 in there. So, what's going on here? Well, simply, the writer of Judges who copied this may have an older version where the Deuteronomistic edition wasn't there yet, which is pretty interesting. And this gives, this example here gives strong support to the documentary hypothesis. So, say, Wayman, is the MT corrupt? Is the LXX corrupt? Dead Sea Scrolls corrupt? No. It's just how things were done. It's just how things were done. Things were always added to the literature, but I think that our views have changed. And a lot of that changed when people started saying that everything was perfect in the literature, when it clearly was not. and it skews thinking that way. Skews the outlook on the text and overview of the text, and instead of learning from the literature, we're running around trying to find which one is correct. You're not going to find one. So, but it's interesting just to look at all of these and see how the different formats happen to develop. So, anytime people are writing a text, you're going to have that. They try to cover it up by burning supposedly inferior pieces of literature, and the theology and the organization sometimes makes it, and the belief system sometimes tries to make it appear that everything is smooth sailing. But as we know, people will always be people, and that is not the case. And that goes for any text. You should question it. If somebody comes up to you and says, "Oh, this text is as pure as the driven snow. If a man touched it," which that's how it got written in the first place, it probably is not. And then you need to ask, where did all the texts go that had mistakes in them? And if you research that further, you'll find that either it's turned into the theology of the modern time, or these texts end up, quote-unquote, disappearing or destroyed. So we know that. So take care. Remember, if everybody's thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking.